Hey, what's up, guys? So, today I want to give you a tour of my home office slash home studio. Before I do that, I want to give you an overview of my businesses. That way, it makes more sense when I'm on the vlogs talking about the things that I'm doing during the day. At any given time, I'm operating under one of three brands. The first of which is Brandon Jackson, and that's where you are right now. That's where I house my photography, my design work, as well as any marketing services that I'm providing. So I do anything from social media marketing to web analytics and web design, to graphic design, branding, identity, and of course, photography. I've actually been operating this business since I was in college, and then I also kind of just let it fizzle out around 2012 when I graduated, and just didn't really pick it up again until later on last year. So that's the first business. The second is a company called KDMR Music. So KDMR Music is a record label, an artist management agency, and a consulting firm. My goal is to inspire all the artists in the world, not just musical artists, but artists in general, to feel comfortable being themselves and pursuing arts careers. And so, because my expertise is in the music industry, I show artists how to navigate the industry and still maintain their creativity while finding ways to bring in revenue doing what they love to do. Under that brand, I actually manage three artists, and so that's KDMR Music. Now, another portion of KDMR Music is an online education platform. So, outside of just doing hourly consulting calls, I also host a YouTube channel dedicated to helping independent artists navigate the industry and give them quick tips that they can use to really make real career progress. So that's the second business. The third business is actually one that's been lying dormant for a while and still is, but I operate under the name BJ Kicks. And BJ Kicks is a musical persona. I used to rap. I started rapping in high school and kept going throughout college. Kind of stopped in the middle of college because I just didn't really like rapping anymore. But I've always made beats, and I still do. And so one of my plans this year is to put out an album or some sort of a project and just, get back to creating things as BJ Kicks. So for now, that brand is going to continue to be silent. And for the most part, I'll be operating under my given name or under KDMR Music. So when you see me talking about those things on the vlog, now you know some context. And now let's get on with the tour. All right, so we are in, I don't know, the lab. Is that what they're calling it these days? So this is my home studio slash office slash whatever. Also sometimes call it my wife's worst nightmare. She says I can be a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder. But this place is kind of a museum for anything that I've ever done, like in the last 10 years as it relates to creative activities. So with that said, let's start the show. We are already at the entrance here. So turn around. So here is a huge photo of me because why not? Some of my earliest childhood memories was a trip to Disney World, my mom and dad, and their wedding. Over here, we've got some posters. I actually designed this poster as well as this one in college because I was the president of the NAACP, and we used to throw an event called the Black Arts Festival every year. So I came up with the themes for this one, and yeah, both of these. I came up with the themes for each of these. And I designed the flyers. I also designed the 2010 flyer, but I don't have a printed version of it, unfortunately. This is my Earth, Wind, and Fire poster and a Nas poster. Basically, each of these, I've kind of resolved that if I'm going to have posters, they're going to come out of albums, so that's where all my posters come from. Over here, this will start at the bottom. So these are my records. I have a lot. Again, I said I make beats. I've been doing that for since '09. So, I don't know. I started making beats in '07, but I started making beats with samples in 2009. So it's been about 10 years. So yeah, I've developed quite a record collection over that time period. Up here, we've got these are all my magazines. So I've got some Rolling Stone, this GQ with Michael Jackson in it, a bunch of magazines that I bought from eBay, all featuring Michael Jordan. And then also I've got the Encyclopedia of Air Jordans. I am a big sneakerhead, if you couldn't tell. These are some of the sneakers I've worn recently that I need to clean. And my name is actually in this book because this book was only available to Kickstarter patrons. And so my name is in it as a Kickstarter donor. So then here's some of my shoe cleaning supplies. But none of that's really important to what I've got going on here. So here I've got a little TV. I've also got this cool little thing. It's called an Equiso stick. This company has gone out of business, but this is basically like a Roku alternative that runs on Android. And so it's got YouTube, it's got Netflix. So most of the time I've got YouTube queued up and I'm watching some of my favorite creators. Over here we've got more books. So these are all my Scratch magazines. They've got really cool articles or interviews with other music producers. Piano instruction. These are basic. This whole section is basically like creative instruction books, with the exception of the anthology of rap. That's just something I like to read. But these are all just kind of to help you be more creative, or to help me be more creative. Also some photography books, of course. I've got the Design Aglow family portrait photography posing guide, as well as the wedding photography portrait guide or posing guide. So that's this section here. Over here I've got my board, my to-do lists, my schedule. It's how I try to keep myself conducted throughout the week. Definitely does not stay that way all the time. And down here we've got a huge stack of books, or notebooks. I love writing things down, but I'm not very good at keeping up with one notebook, so I have a bunch, and I'll just carry whichever one is more convenient. There's really no rhyme or reason to them. Only thing that's really got some significance is this clipboard. It's where I write down all the video ideas that I've got, and I schedule. This is basically my production schedule. So if you make it to the clipboard, then you're definitely an idea that I'm working on regularly. So brings us to the main station. We've got the computer. Now, just to show you that it doesn't take a whole lot, this computer I bought in 2010. It's only got 4 gigs of RAM. I think it's a dual core processor. Nothing, it's not a very big workhorse, and you wouldn't confuse it for one at all. It's actually on its last legs, but it doesn't do me very well for design or photography anymore, because Adobe basically requires 8 gigs of RAM minimum now. But it is still good for music production, and so this is pretty much what I use for that. Also for music production, I've got my Oxygen 49 MIDI keyboard, which I've had since I was in college. Pretty much all of this over here I've funded through refund checks, with the exception of this beat machine, which we'll talk about later. Say what's up to Yoda. So, fun facts, I am a big Star Wars fan. I did not become a Star Wars fan until about 3 years ago when I got married. That's when I became a Star Wars fan. My wife will make fun of me. But I have had this lightsaber since 2011. I used to work for a record label, and the head of that record label was a huge Star Wars fan. So lightsabers were kind of like a mascot for the label, so that's why I bought that one. Alright, so over here, my studio monitors. I use M-Audio BX8s because the record producer I used to work for used those as well. They're actually really good. I love them. The sound is great. More Star Wars stuff. Oh, also, this is the Batman section. I'm a bigger Batman fan than I am Star Wars, but it's all good. It's whatever. Over here, we've got the Akai MPD-24 is what I use to make beats. I produce on FL Studio, aka Fruity Loops, but I always produce with the MPD-24, and I use it like an MPC, chopping up samples. So I definitely don't do everything FL Studio has to offer. And I don't feel like I need all those things. Over here we've got the M-Audio MBox 2 Mini, which has since been discontinued. Like I said, all my music equipment I bought in like 2010, 2011, so a lot of it you can't get anymore, but you don't really need much more than what I've got. I just recently got, maybe like in the last 2 years, got this studio channel by PreSonus, so it gives me some outboard compression, some EQ. It's also got a tube preamp, which is nice because you can add some warmth going into this into the computer, so it's not so digital and so clean, for lack of better terminology. If any of this bores you, my bad. I'm kind of a music and audio nerd. Up here I've got my Stanton T92 USB record turntable, and so right now the featured record is Sesame Street. So yeah, that's basically all my beats start with a record, and they get sampled into the computer, chop them up, and play them out with these pads. My microphone. So I have the MXL V63. I haven't used this microphone in at least 5 years. Hopefully I'll change that this year. But I've got the Prime Acoustic Vox Guard around it. Definitely helps with room reflections, although that's not a problem in this room because I have so many things in here that dampen the sound. I only have these 2 acoustic pads, but because of the books, the records, and everything that are in here, I don't have a problem with noise reflections at all. Also, my light, I've got some sheets up here, and I did that because before I had a softbox kit, I just had light in the room, and so I tried to soften it up a little bit with that, and it worked like a charm. So on to the camera section. Obviously I have my camera in my hand, so I can't show it to you, but there's my camera bag, and I will at a later date show you guys what I keep in my camera bag, what I pretty much always have with me at photo shoots. Here's my tripod. This is pretty much a very flimsy and standard tripod that you get from Amazon. It's the one I got when I got the camera as a gift. These are my 2 soft boxes. I just added these to the arsenal. My mother got them for me for Christmas, actually. So they are Lenco soft boxes. Am I saying that right? Yeah, Lenco soft boxes. They are 24 by 24 inches each, and I pretty much use them in all of my videos, except this one because it's already daylight outside. Fun fact, you can't tell, but that big bright window, I used to have you can't see, but the blinds are like melted behind that white sheet. And I used to have a black comforter up there, and it would get so hot behind it that the blinds melted, so I had to change that out. And so now we're all compliant with the apartment rules, and I've still got to get the blinds replaced. So here's, another pride and joy. I definitely have a collective personality, so I collect records, but I also have quite a few books. So starting up top, we've got the Bible, and then first shelf is music memoirs / biographies. Then it's kind of music business guides. These are basically textbooks, for lack of better terminology. So that's music business guides and music business history as told by artists and executives. Then down here is music history, and around here it fades into black history. And then down here, got business books, Lean Startup's good, Malcolm Gladwell. And then it goes into kind of personal finance, some self-help, and then more business books. These are a lot on selling. And then, I get into the religious or spiritual books. I am a Christian, and so these are all focused on Christian living. And then down here I've got some random textbooks from college days and things I picked up so GRE prep and random stuff that I probably will never read again, but it's here for reference and I won't get rid of it. So, video cut out just as I was finishing. How disrespectful of you, Canon. But so thank you guys for watching. I don't know, just wanted to do a little studio tour. Show you it doesn't take a whole lot to get really good results. Oh, I forgot to show you. My laptop, I guess you don't really need to see it. It's nothing amazing. But the laptop is actually what I do all my editing on, whether it's photos or videos or any other design. Because that's got 12 gigs of RAM. And I just upgraded to that recently because my desktop just keeps crashing on me. But anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you in another video very soon. Peace.